Hey YouTube, welcome back to UniX TCG, and we finally have it. Dragon Ball Super Fusion World Set 5 New Adventures full reveal list. And so I'm going to jump in there, talk about what's new, and then talk about how it interacts with what we currently have spoiled from the set. So if you like the video, like the video. And if you love the video, maybe join the UniX fam today and subscribe. But if you want to go the extra mile, not only are we going to start putting on content back on Patreon because we're getting into that tournament season, we're going to be busting out on this channel, but you can also help me on my second channel, Universe X, for manga, anime, and their games, and be one of the 40 or less people to help me get to 1,000. We are that close, and every little bit of help would be much appreciated. So let's hop into the content. So the first card we have here, we just want to talk about the leader just to clue you guys back in for those who might just need a little bit of a refresher. You got this Goku, of course. He's a draw when attacking, and then he's going to awaken at 4 life. Now, moving on to his awaken side, we have the main deal here, the main draw to the deck. He's a draw 1 when attacking leader, but once per turn, he can choose up to 1 battle card with DA in its name, that's Daima, and then that battle card will gain 10k for the turn. This is an effect that's going to push most 20k cards to 30ks, and that's going to enable a lot of cool things as well as cause a lot of pressure, and it turns Glorio into an absolute freight train. So the first new card I'm going to talk about is a card I was praying for, and yes, I wish it didn't have the little restriction that it did, but it is pretty cool. We've got Neva, and Neva is a 1-cost 5k power, 5k combo power, top 5 searcher. On play, look at 5 cards from the top of your deck, reveal up to 1 non-Neva DA card with a cost of 4 or less and DA in its name, and then add it to your hand. Place the rest at the bottom of their owner's deck in any order. Now, this card is going to be great for this deck. It's going to add a lot of consistency, and it's going to give Basil Kefla vibes when it comes to how powerful Glorio is for this deck. Now, as it stops at 5, the cards it currently doesn't grab are the DA double striker that we have from the starter deck, as well as the super combo that we get from this set. However, these are still very, very good targets, and you can pretty much pick up almost any card in your deck depending on how you've built it. Now, the next card we have going in here is a new Self-Awakener. We have this Vegeta. He's a 2-cost 15k power, 10,000 combo power. Permanent, your turn. This card in the battle area gains 5k, so he's always going to be swinging for 20, and on play, add up to 1 card from your life to your hand. Him having the cost of 3 or a cost of 2, the reason why he has like a 15k power is because they want to justify a reason for you to have 10k combo power with this permanent. This permanent taking the 5k away conditionally is going to allow you to have this with combo power, giving red some much needed combo value in its hand. The next card we have here is the Minotaur, and the Minotaur is a 2-cost 15k power, 10k combo power card. When attacking, if there's a battle card with 25k power or more, choose up to 1 battle card in your opponent's battle area, and it gains minus 10k power for the turn. Now, this is a really, really cool card in the sense that you can always, once you're awakened, make it that 25k or higher. However, I'm not quite sure about the impact of this card. A 2-cost for 15k still is kind of weird, and it doesn't self-awakening, so it's not really getting you anything. So you need to be awakened to use it. That's already kind of rough. Now, the next card we have is King Caden. A boy is thick. No, but for real. 2-cost 15k. They love this stat line. 10k combo power. When attacking, if your leader is awakened, play up to 1 battle card with the cost of 1 and DA in its card name from your hand. Now, this is very interesting because at first glance, this isn't very cool, but this card can play 1-drop Pansy, which turns into a 15k, right? Or turns into a 20k if you're awakened. You can play out the 1-drop Pansy that buffs a DA card by 5k and then sits on the board as a 10k combo power, and by that logic, you could play this Candon, attack, play that Pansy, this Pansy buffs this Candon is now 20, and then you can actually move it up to a 30k. Now, this is actually a with the combo of that Pansy, and this is also a really, really funny play because that means that your shotgun can be particularly high. Like, can you imagine if you only had 2 energy left and you just needed 1 more shot? So you play out this Candon, and he is a 15k. You pump it to 25k with your leader. You swing with this guy, you play out the Pansy, bump him up to 30, and then combo the Pansy for 40, and that's your base. For 2 energy and 2 cards in hand, you made a 40k, and that's also kind of interesting. I'm not saying it's a great combo, but it's interesting to see how these plays could work. He can also play out the Neba Searcher, and then the Neba Searcher could combo with him, so you could just play him out for 2, search, and even if you're on turn 2, you're still getting your search and you're getting the swing, and then they probably will attack it because they don't want to awaken you, but they also don't want want this guy to continue being able to spew cards from your hand. So this is actually pretty interesting. And then you can play the Goten mini cantrip off of them, and that's also pretty cool. So just little notes. Next, you got Kibito. Kibito is a 3-cost 25k 0k combo, critical on play, add 1 card from your life to your hand. This is cool and all. 3 cost being a critical, if you awaken with it, you can move them to 30k critical. We have yet to see if the card like this could fit in. It is a 0 cost or a 0 combo, and you always need to be careful about that in your hand, so maybe not. But I do think that this is actually, it's just at least neat for what it is. It's definitely going to be a sealed powerhouse. And then to round off the new cards we have Warp Sama. And Warp Sama is a 1-cost activate main. Look at the top 5 cards from the top, look at the 5 cards from the top of your deck. Sorry, had a conniption trying to read that. Look at the 5 cards off the top of your deck, reveal up to 1 card with DA and its card name, and add it to your hand. Place the rest at the bottom of the owner's deck in any random order, and then activate battle opponent's turn. Your cards in the battle area gain plus 15k power for the battle. So we are now looking at a space where you can use this card on defense, much like the old Searchers. But instead of being offense or defense, this one's just anytime. Well, this is actually just this is defense. For defense, I wish it was 20k, but I guess 20k is reserved for something that's purely defensive and can't be used on the main for a search effect. But this is pretty cool because it's going to allow you to search things like your double striker or your super combos. So we'll have to see if this makes its way into the deck. Now, going back to look at the cards that we currently have, one of the most important things about having searchers is that we have Glorio. Glorio is a 4-cost, and if you guys have been testing Daima already, even without full spoilers, you guys understand how much of a wrecking ball this card is. He punches through hand, he punches through life, he is just super strong. Whether you were using him on turn 4, turn 5, turn 6, turn 7, or just dropping 2 on turn 8 to end the game. This guy is a monster in this format, and the ability to search him with not 1 but 2 cards is insane. Like I said, this is going to give Basil Kefla vibes all over again in terms of them searching their top 5 and you just crossing your finger that they do not pick up a Glorio. The only difference is Glorio has, 0k combo power, so at the end of the day they're adding a 0 to their hand, but at the same time he will end your game, so you just have to worry about that. This is going to be a very important card going into the future. Then you also have Pansy DA, right? And this is a 2-cost 20k 0 combo, but at the same time the on play is a self-awaken effect, and on KO it's going to draw 2 cards. So if you're not playing against blue, this card can actually be quite a problem. Now, in red, there will be a lot of effects that are going to minus down to 0. However, if most of these effects minus by, what, 10 to 15k, and then you'd have to use another effect to get over it. If Whis is on the board, that could potentially be done pretty easily. But if you've managed your opponent's Whis or things like that, it's going to be a little hard to get this down to fully 0. And so even against red, the way red's shaping up, you still may have to go out of your way to reduce it to 0, and that's a good lightning rod for your reduction effects, unless you're Beerus and you just have that 10k on tap. Now, against yellow, this card is annoying. You play as many on the field as you can, and you pester them until they have to start removing it with Frieza, or using their tap effects to lock this down when you have better cards you can be playing, like Glorio, and so on. And then you also have that against green. You just jam as many of these on the board as possible against green and keep turning them sideways. Do not give them the chance to breathe. Eventually, they will have to destroy these, and then you will draw cards. Against black, they can bounce them to your hand. That is true. At any point, if you don't feel like replaying it, you can just, charge it. But if you're not awakened yet, bouncing this back to the hand just gives you another self-awakener, and it turns sideways again. So there's a lot of cool things with Pansy, and she interacts really crazy in the format. We wouldn't play 4 for Topo, but I'm pretty sure we're going to play 2 for Pansy. Another search target is from the starter deck. We've got the Android 18 Mini, a self-awakener that has a Whis-like on play. You just -5 from something, and that's cool. It swings for neutral, it's searchable by Neba and Warp Sama, and it's a self-awakener. Then you have this new card. This is a promo from, if I'm not mistaken, it's a promo from the Anniversary, and this is a 2-cost card, 20k power, 5k combo power. On play, add up to 1 card from your life to your hand, so it's another self-awaken that goes sideways. This deck is having a just ridiculous amount of 2 costs that go sideways. And then you have When attacking, if your leader is awakened, choose up to one battle card in your battle area, and it cannot be KO'd by your opponent's skills until the end of your opponent's turn. So this is very interesting because if the format is filled with blue, which I think Vegeta and Vegito will be popular enough to have a fair amount of blue decks, this card is probably not going to be that great unless we see a massive flux of black and green, which with black could very well be a possibility. I do think that black is going to be a lot more popular. By the time we get to the Gogeta video, you guys will see why my line of thinking has been changed from what it used to be. But I do think that we could see a realm where this card, depending on your regional meta, could go in. If you're facing a lot of black, a lot of black, a lot of green, potentially some red, this card will probably do some cool stuff. Once you have this card up, like there's like a lot of cool things you can do. So this doesn't have a restriction versus DA. One of the main issues that green can pose to red is blowing up your field on the backswing, whether it be with Cell, whether it be with Broly, whether it be with 7-cost Gohan. If you have a secret rare up and that secret rare survives a turn and you play something like Son Goku Mini and you attack and you just choose your Son Goku secret rare, your opponent has to swing into it and you have an actual chance at protecting it at that point. So this card may actually filter in very well to the deck. It's got combo power, and so we'll see. We will literally see how it works. Just letting you guys know that I still have partnerships with stores like Mystic TCG and Eclipse, but I am reworking my advertisements so they can fit more seamlessly into the video. What I'm going to ask for you guys right now is if you still play One Piece or any other card game that you might want to order, go over to Mystic TCG, their website, go in the description, check out my code words, and use those to get percentages off. Right now, they are pushing OPO10, so there's a lot of OPO10, I guess it's OP10. Look, there's still a lot of booster boxes that can be sold, and so if you'd like to have a really good store with percentages off, free shipping, things like that, go over to Mystic TCG, order that now. Now, back to the video. Now, the next card on the list is Tamagami number 3. This is an SR. For me, it's a little underwhelming, but it's a 2-cost, 15k, 5k combo power. It's got blocker and permanent. This card cannot be KO'd once per turn, which means that outside of blue and red for that matter, this guy could be a very sticky blocker. In black, they can bounce him, but in yellow, they really just have to tap him or put 2 attacks into him. Frieza can get rid of this kind of easily, and Frieza's going to be a hot asset card for red, so this card just doesn't feel safe in most matches, I think, and that just doesn't really bring me the urge to play him. I'm just going to put that out there. Now, the next card that we have here that's searchable is the 1-drop Pansy. This 1-drop Pansy is great. I like her. She reminds me a lot of 1-drop Frieza, and that means she pairs with a couple of cards that I like a lot. And I will be doing a deep dive into Daima on the Patreon channel. And then on top of that, we do Wednesday night testings. I skipped this week because there's been some personal stuff going on, but next week we're going to be diving in with full spoilers, and I'm going to try to have each deck from set 5 on that night to test on Untap, and we're gonna have a great time. We're gonna have a really great time. But this card is one of my favorites in the sets for reasons, and I hope you guys get to know those reasons. But we have Vegeta as well. This card is a promo from the Ultimate Battles that we've been doing lately with the Broly and the Boo up there. And this guy is just really good. He's a 10k, he's minusing 15k. He's not a self-awakener like Gohan, but he has a higher combo value than Gohan. And because he doesn't need to attack, you can play him to help you remove things and then keep him upright for either combo power or just to use on another turn if you still want your opponent to attack you. So I do think that there's a lot of cases, like I like, personally in my list I still run both, but I do think that this card has a spot 100%, especially in the Daima base decks. Well, only in the Daima base decks actually. Now this next card is another promo. This is a promo that we're going to be given in the promo pack and the pre-releases for set 5, and this guy is pretty strong. He is a 4-cost 30k, so you can boost him up to 40k with your leader. 0 combo power, that's the part. But when attacking, discard 1 card from your hand. If your leader has DA in its card name, choose up to 1 battle card in your opponent's battle area, and it gets minus 20 power this turn. There are going to be a lot of things that you can run over. Now, red isn't known for its hand size, and that's the only thing scary about that. Discarding cards as a cost when you already don't have a lot of hand size is going to be rough. However, this is going to be a strong card in the fact that you're reducing something by 20 and then you're swinging on it by 40. So realistically, when this turns sideways against something, it's probably going to die unless it's like some 8-drop green card. But yeah, I think this card is pretty cool, and it's going to run over a lot of cards if you decide to use it. Now, the other cards that we do have are the Goten Cantrip, which is a really good target for Neba. You know, it's just like if you top 5 and you don't have anything better and you grab a Cantrip and you play that too, you're going to be digging in your deck closer to the cards that you did want. But now that we have Neba and Sun Goten, this deck has traction and it will be moving pretty quickly, and I like that. Now, the next card that we have here is the Double Striker, and the Double Striker I think now just becomes the de facto Double Striker over the previous one in just Daima decks, because you can now pump this guy by 10k because he has DA in his name. Base 45k Double Striker for the same cost of 5 as everybody else is crazy. And then every turn that they do not get this guy off the field, he's going to be able to destroy more things. And now with the 3-cost Vegeta, there's ways to answer this. There's ways to up that threshold. You can destroy up to 35ks with this guy on the field if you play that Vegeta and minus something down to 20k. Something that I was playing with even with the current Diamond deck, one of my UVs that I went X1 with, I played this guy, and my opposing deck could not get rid of it. I think I only had to drop a 10k, and then they couldn't get rid of it. And then I end up playing UI Goku SCR, and being able to swing for 40k minus everything by 20, and then be like, what's left? That? Okay, cool. Goku, pop it. It was insane. It was actively insane to be able to do that, and it really just allowed him to never have a board in that game while applying mad pressure with a 40k single strike followed by a 40k double strike because of my DaimaKu2 leader at the time. So yeah, this guy gets in there. Warp Sama can also pick up your super combo though, so do not forget that. This is actually something that works really well, and this is a reason why we may actually see Warp Sama being used. The ability to not only be able to go into your double strike if you run it, your super combos, which you'll definitely run, you'll also be able to pick up all the cards that Neba picked up. So this is going to be cool, and the deck is looking pretty consistent. But yeah, let me know how you are feeling about Daima. Like I said, deeper dives are going to be on the Patreon in the upcoming week. This is one of the decks I am most excited to play. If you are already on the Patreon or you end up joining sometime after this video, remember Wednesdays are testing nights. I pretty much clear out my entire night just to hop on and get in the Discord, and then we all just play. We play games. We have, we stream both sides of it. We just have open knowledge and we talk about it and we break things down because I'm trying to help as many people into nationals as possible. Get it? And let's represent. That's really it. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. Stay tuned for the blue video with Vegito. That will be next, and I will try to hit that up the same day. We're running on not much sleep, what can I say? But yeah, and like I said before, like the video if you want to help it spread. Join GameGenic fam if you want to chill here for Dragon Ball content as well as Gundam card game content in due time. And then if you really want to help me out in other endeavors, go over and subscribe to Universe X, where I play a lot of games, mostly Dragon Ball based, but other animes, and we talk about manga as well there too. And I'd love to see you there. We really are this close. We're like 40 away from 1,000. It would mean the world for me. But yeah, that being said, I will see you in the next video, live stream, whichever you decide to join into. Later.